Morning, morning, morning. I hope you're well today. It's the Monday after the Lincoln Christmas market and we're feeling very festive here. It was a lovely weekend. The weather's cooled down. It's perfect for wearing sweaters. It's Christmas jumper day for charity this Thursday, so there's lots and lots going on. Looking forward to Thursday. My daughter asked for a handmade Christmas jumper, which I've made. It's all ready, it's blocked, it's ready to wear, it fits beautifully. It's a little bit wild. She asked for it to be red and pink, and I'm not sure about red and pink, but it looks lovely on her, so I'm very pleased. I've just back from the school run and running through errands. I'm wearing this lovely hat today. It was knitted, is it crocheted? This is actually crocheted. Maria, who stocks in my shop, I have a little shop in Lincoln called Whistler from Lincolnshire, where I sell locally handmade gifts, crafts, cards and arts on behalf of local makers. And this is one of Maria's. Maria made me a green hat, exactly like this a couple of years ago. I had a green winter coat at the time, sort of a moss green, and I absolutely love this hat. And I've got a brown coat now, so I asked her to crochet me or knit me. I thought it was knitted at the time. Crochet me a hat with this yarn. This is Finnish Navita Seven Brothers yarn, 75% wool, 25% polyamide, so it's like a Finnish sock yarn, but it's Aran weight, so very sturdy yarn. Maria knitted me a cardigan in the same yarn, and I had a little bit left, so she made me a hat as well. I love wearing this hat. It's a double layer. I don't know much about crocheting, but it looks like it's crocheted in 2 layers, and it's just really nice and warm, and it fits so well. Maria always tricks me with knitting and crocheting. I think I'm quite established knitter, but with her stitches I can't ever quite tell whether it's knitted or crocheted, and I love this. Love that so much. This, when you first look at it, looks like knitted, but when you start looking into it, this ribbing is actually crocheted, and yeah, love it. Wear that all the time. So I've got a hat here now, but I ought to take it off. Yeah, it's been very good knitting weather since I spoke to you last. I've done quite a bit of knitting. I think last time I spoke to you, I think this same jumper was probably hanging here, but it wasn't finished yet. I had a few issues with my roll gauge, which I haven't really paid that much attention previously, I have to say. But I've had an issue with my roll gauge with a couple of jumpers I've knitted recently, and this was one of them. This is a beautiful Fair Isle colourwork jumper, and my stitch gauge was absolutely spot on. But this, I think I've done charts A and B maybe, from the Dirty Caramel Sweater by Kutova Kika. She's a Finnish designer. I've done the charts A and B, and there was supposed to be chart C as well, that ran into the body of the sweater, but that just didn't work out with my roll gauge at all. Also, this jumper should be orange on the bottom. It's knitted with very large needles. Let me just have a look what size needles they were. I think maybe size 5. I've got to Geez, I've got it on my screen here. Is it one large needles, 4-ply held together with mohair, and the DK weight drops charisma. I think it's actually Aran weight. Let me just check. Yeah, it was knitted with 5mm needles. The main body of the sweater should be orange, but I had ordered quite a bit of drops. I'm sure it was drops charisma. Let's have a look. Yeah, drops charisma. I had ordered quite a lot of drops charisma in Wool Warehouse sale. I had ordered 45 balls of it, so I had 3 different colours, 15 balls of each, and I was planning to knit cabled jumpers for myself with that yarn. I just did not love it. I really wanted to love it because it's 100% wool, and I think it shows texture really well, but I just didn't enjoy knitting with it. It was very, very plasticky, and I felt I've been knitting with 4-ply and mohair held together quite a lot recently, and I just love how drapey it is, how light it is, how soft it is, how warm it is without feeling stuffy. So I decided that I wasn't going to knit the main body of the jumper in the orange drops charisma and knit it with this. I have bought 4-ply cone of merino and silk mix from Yarndale this year, and then I paired it with drops kid silk mohair for the main body. And then I had again 4-ply and mohair for the white. The black is actually 2 strands of 4-ply held together with a high alpaca content, so it's got the same fluffiness as mohair. So it's just the drops charisma that doesn't have any fluff, and it's very, very heavy, but it works really well actually. It's very, very warm around the neck. And when you're wearing it, it doesn't stick out. It doesn't look like it's completely different composition and a different type of yarn to the others. I've had loads of compliments when I've been wearing it. I love it. I should put it on today actually, but I'll put it on next time so that you will see how it looks when it's worn. It had the sleeves should have had decreases all the way down, but I didn't decrease them because after my collar work they sort of puffed out a little. I think my collar work must have been a little bit tight there, and I thought, oh, they will look lovely with balloon sleeves, and yeah, it does. It is lovely to wear. I feel quite dressed when I'm wearing it. It just works out beautifully with this drapey fabric. Yeah, I've been wearing that a lot. It's got twisted ribbing on the cuffs and the collar and the bottom here, and it just gives it a lovely finished look. And I've done a tubular cast off, which is my new absolute favourite. I've only just recently braved doing it. I was always quite scared of, and still am, trying new things. But I find tubular cast off easier than Kitchener stitch. It's sort of similar rhythm to it, but when you get into it, it's really enjoyable. A lot of patterns and instructions say to do 2 rows of double knitting before you do the tubular cast off, but I haven't done that. I don't know if it's more important on the collar if you're working bottom up to hold the shape, but I don't quite know why you do it. I don't know if it just gives it more strength. So I haven't done it. I've just gone straight into tubular cast off. The neckline I've done differently as well. I can't remember if, I don't think this pattern had any short rows, and I love short rows. I think if you knit a little bit of extra on the back of the jumper, it sort of sits better around the neck, and it doesn't pull on the neck. It just feels better. So what I did, you can probably see the middle of the front is much lower, and then the collar gets thicker around the edges, and is very, very thick at the back. So I put short rows there, and I knitted them all the way to the so that they met at the front. And I did a wrap and turn on the pearl columns. So if there was a wrap, it sort of disappears into the pearl stitch. And I also did them, this is folded collar, so I did them on the inside. So there's, you can just about see where they are on the inside, but they're hidden there. So I think it looks very, very neat. Very pleased with this. And I used a lot of the pink cone that I had bought from Yarndale, and rest of it I've used up as now as well. It was a ½ kilo cone for £10. There was a small business selling, they just had maybe half a dozen pink cones. They were selling them for £10. They said there was some sort of a dye-lot issue with those cones. It was, I think it was 85% merino and 15% silk. So it's it was lovely to knit with. It's washed lovely. I've already washed it and blocked it. I don't know if you remember last time I showed this to you, I had to rip back, and I had knitted with the yarn that I had already knitted and pulled back, and it was quite bumpy and bobbly here, but after washing it has completely evened out, and it's lovely. Really enjoyed knitting that. And I've been wearing it a lot, and mohair is quite there's a bit of magic to mohair. I think it sort of velcros all the yarns together, and it doesn't pill. I've got quite a few jumpers that I've knitted with mohair and washed them in a washing machine, and there's hardly any pilling on them, and I have been wearing this a lot in the last 2 weeks. There's just a little bit of fluff there that needs pulling off, and that's it in the armpit where they rub against each other the most. But yeah, absolutely lovely. Jumper is called the Dirty Caramel Sweater by Kika. She's just released a book, I think a couple of months ago, and this is part of the book, as is my Ivy sweater. I think it was, I bought the ebook version of her book. It's called I Knit This. I Can Knit This. I Knit This. Links are on my Ravelry page anyway. There were quite a few jumpers that I just wanted to knit straight away. I think this Dirty Caramel sweater might have been the cover of the book, and it also had this Ivy sweater, which I've knitted with King Cowl 4-ply merino cone, which it was a ½ kilo cone from Wool Warehouse. I think it was about £27. I did cake the leftovers up so that I would know how much I had left, because it's hard to know how much the cone weighs and how much you've got left. So it was this colour, and then I held 2 strands of mohair together with it, and this was knitted even on bigger needles. I think this might have been knitted on 7mm needles, was it? No, it was 3mm needles. So 1 strand of this and 2 strand of the mohair, and it is lovely. It is so warm and light, but even fluffier than the Dirty Caramel sweater that only has 1 strand of mohair. Again, this mohair, I bought a cone from Yarndale. It was maybe 250-gram cone for about £20, so absolute bargain of a cone. I've already knitted another sweater with this cone, and I've still got this tiny little bit of left, so I've knitted 2 jumpers with it. It was called, I think it was called the Caramel Sweater by Petite Knit, and then this cone of King Cowl merino 4-ply I bought from Wool Warehouse after I've been knitting with the DK version of the same yarn. Washes beautifully. It's really nice to knit with. It's got lovely it's not a flat collar, it's got little bits of different colors in it. It's lovely, and it knitted beautifully. Yeah, this is called the Ivy sweater. It's top down, and it's got this, I've been craving to knit cables. I just want all over cable jumper, but I don't think I can deal with following several charts at the same time at the moment. So I got a little bit of cabling done in here, so that sort of scratched that itch a little bit. It's very, very easy chart. It just knits itself. It's very, when you get into it, it's very easy to follow, and just absolutely loved knitting it. Yeah, there's a little bit of cabling. It's top down, and again I've done the same with the collar. It's folded collar, but I've knitted extra on the back, short rows on the back, so it's much lower at the front, and then tall at the back, so it fits on my shoulders really, really well, and it hooks around your shoulders. I have blocked this. I think I put these 2 in the bath at the same time. I just filled the bath, a couple of inches of water, put some wool wash in it, laid both in there, let them lull about there for half an hour or so, squeezed them all as dry as I could, and then I put them in the washing machine just to spin them dry on the 1400 spin, and just laid them flat on my Pringle, and they dried pretty quickly. Again, I did balloon sleeves because I think this jumper really suited balloon sleeves. I can't quite remember if that's what was in the pattern, to be honest, but it's called the Ivy sweater by Kutowakiko. I've knitted it, the body and the sleeves inside out. When you finish the chart and split for the sleeves, you are supposed to knit it just normal stocking stitch, knit every row. But because there's a lot of purling in between the lace work and the cables, I just felt that it will look really nice if it was purled all the way down, but I wasn't going to purl it all the way down. So I just, on the back, I just knitted 1 short row to change the direction, and then on the sleeves, when I knit the sleeves, I just when I picked the stitches up for the sleeves, I just started knitting it inside out, and then just before, I didn't do any decreases on the sleeve. I just did quick decrease before the cuffs, and then I think I was meant to knit a short row there to change the direction so that I could cast off, do a tubular cast off the right way around, but I think I forgot to do it, and I've done the tubular cast off on the wrong side, on the inside if you like, but I don't think you can tell. I think it looks exactly the same, but on the bottom I just changed direction, knitted 1 extra short row right at the bottom there, and then knitted the ribbing the right way around and did a tubular cast off, which I just love at the moment. Yeah, this has got a lot of wear too. Yeah, I just changed the sleeves and the body after the yoke to just go with the sort of reverse stockinette style. Yeah, it's lovely. One strand of 4-ply and 2 strands of mohair, which can become quite expensive when you hold 3 strands of yarn together, but I had some lovely bargain yarns from Yarndale. This mohair was very affordable, and also the cone from Wool Warehouse, which I'll show you. I've still got 220 grams left, so I probably used 280 grams. And I have used this for a pair of socks as well, so it's gone a long way, and I can probably get another jumper out of it. Maybe not with balloon sleeves, but something else. And I would quite like, this is not sock yarn, it's 100% merino, but I would really love a pair of white lace. Well, this is not white, it's oatmeal colour. Quite like oatmeal lace socks. That's on my sort of I want to wear list next, so I might do that. And I could hold mohair together with it for a little bit of extra strength. Yeah, I don't know how quickly the merino on its own would wear off. But yeah, that's 2 jumpers that I've knitted for myself. And I've knitted a jumper for my daughter. I've been talking about this pink cone I bought at Yarndale, and this is nearly all of it now, apart from I dyed it purple. My daughter's favourite colour is purple, so I thought I would knit her a jumper, purple jumper. When I bought this pink cone from Yarndale, they did say that there was some sort of a colour lot issue with that yarn. I didn't ask any more questions. It was £10. I've knitted with it, absolutely love knitting with it. I haven't seen any issues. But when I dyed this yarn, there seems to be a huge colour difference. I don't know if you can see it. Up till there, it's much darker, and then it's lighter purple, which I think it goes fine with this, because there's a bit of intarsia knitting mixtape there, so it doesn't really matter. It was 4-ply merino silk mix, about 85% merino and 50% silk, if I remember right. It didn't have any labels on it, so I decided to knit this DK weight short sleeved jumper for my daughter, and I held it 2 strands together because it was 4-ply and the pattern was DK, and I got the gauge absolutely spot on, both stitch and roll gauge, and I'm so happy with this. This is called the Mixtape Tee, and it's knitted flat, front and the back, and then you just increase to make a little sleeve. Do a 3 needle bind off on the shoulder, and then you pick up the stitches for a little bit of ribbing on the sleeves and the collar, and then you do but what I did, I knit it in the round until the intarsia started, and then I did some intarsia knitting for the mixtape. And I thought I would have all the colours for the mixtape in my stash, but I didn't actually have that many colours. So what I did, I ordered mini skein set from Woolies The Answer, and the colours were absolutely perfect. These are all from, there were five mini skeins in the set, and it's called Foxy. At the mini set, they had the yellow, the orange, the grey, the dark grey, and the is sort of off greyish white. And as it happened, it was exactly the same colours as in the pattern, and it just looks great. I just don't know whether to sort of duplicate stitch or embroider Ella's Mixtape or something like on that white strip. I might leave it as it is. I haven't blocked it yet. I do need to wash it to even out the stitches, but it's not too bad. I don't knit flat that often, so I was a little bit worried about my pearl stitches being looser than my knit stitches, but it's not too bad. I think you can, if you know, you know. Especially when you compare the bottom, where I've just knit it all the way around, and then I started knitting flat from about there. But yeah, I'm very pleased with it. I'll just see if I can find a long sleeve t-shirt to sort of go with this colour. So I might have a look in my shop, in my second-hand shop, to see if there is one, or have a look if I can find one. Just about any colour will go, even white long sleeve t-shirt would be nice with this. But yeah, I'm very pleased with that. That was a new technique for me in tarsia knitting, and there's a few duplicate stitches there as well, so it was nice to try something new. I'll just have to explain what a tape is to Ella now. What we used to use in the olden days when we recorded Top of the Pops on tapes. But yeah, it'll be quite fun. Ella loves her playlists on Spotify, so that's I'll just have to explain how we used to do it in the olden days. It has got a lot cooler in Lincoln now. Winter has finally arrived. It's been ever so mild, but with the cooler weather, the mittens and the hats are definitely out. And Ella keeps coming home from school. She's 8. She keeps coming home from school with one mitten. There must be a big black hole where all the mittens go at school. I don't know where they go. So I've knitted her a couple of pairs. I knitted these ones. First I did, it wasn't so cold, so I thought I'll go for fingerless gloves. These look really odd, but when they're on, they're a little bit small for me, so I won't try them on. But they don't look that pretty, to be honest. I don't know if it's the yarn. Again, it's Drops Charisma, which I don't. It's just very, very flat. There's no, I just don't love it. But I thought this would be perfect for mittens, because it's is it Aran weight or DK weight yarn? Yes, DK weight yarn. It's quick to knit, especially if they go missing quite soon after they've been worn. But we've still got bows. It's got a 3x1 ribbing on around the wrist and on the around the fingers there, which I really love. Yeah, I don't think I've ever knitted 3x1 ribbing before, but I enjoyed that. I would prefer tubular cast off, but I couldn't quite get my head around how to do that on 3x1 ribbing, so I've just done my normal long tail cast on and then just cast off in pattern, and they fit her nicely. This is a nice sort of dusky pink, vintage pink colour. Can't remember exactly what the colour was called, but I think I used most of the 50-gram ball, so that was perfect. So I knitted those, and then Ella asked for a purple pair of mittens, so I got some King Cowl merino DK from my shop, and I paired it with a mohair. I had some kid silk mohair in vintage, I think it's vintage pink or antique pink colorway left from this jumper. But when I was dyeing the yarn for this, I also put in the mohair that I had left, so I also dyed that. So it sort of came out this sort of colour, and so I paired it. I've got a pair of mittens that I knitted last year with DK and mohair, and they're my favourite mittens. They just they're so warm and fluffy, and yeah, they're just lovely. So I knitted these for her, and I've got just enough to, I'm just finishing a pair of socks. I think I bought 2 balls. So I'm going to do a pair of socks. I'm currently doing a pair of socks for her as well. These are the World's Simplest Mittens by Think and Knit. Great pattern. It's for all different yarn weights, 4-ply DK and Aran weight, and all the different sizes of hands in your family. I've knitted the, I was sort of going in between the large child and the extra small adult. And yeah, they're a lovely pair of mittens, ever so easy to knit, and they're quick to knit. I follow the Aran weight pattern because it's got DK and mohair held together, and I feel that the this is the same yarn but in red. Cowl DK is very plump DK. So yeah, these turn out perfectly. She wore this yesterday, and I did the cuff a little bit extra long, and I think I just did a normal cast on. I've, on a couple of items that I knitted for Ella, I have done a tubular cast on and tubular cast off, but they've broken really quickly. So I don't tend to do that on Ella's clothes anymore. I think she just pulls her clothes and stretches them, so I tend to do long tail cast on now. It seems to be a bit sturdier and stretchier, and seem to last a bit longer. And I'll go into the Christmas jumper then. Yes, Ella asked for a pink and red Christmas jumper. So I bought Novita 7 Brothers Nummi Aran weight yarn. It's a lovely vintage pink yarn, and this is from Snufflebean. I think she's near Luton, an online shop. I bought 4 balls of this, if I remember right, and then I bought bright pink Novita 7 Brothers to go with it, and then the red. These 2 are Aran weight and the red is DK. These 2 are 75% wool and 25% polyamide, and the Cowl merino DK is 100% merino. It doesn't feel that different. The thickness doesn't look that different, to be honest. I think the Cowl DK is very plump. So I thought they would work well together, and they did. So that's those yarns. Here's the jumper. It's just been washed. Ella wore it yesterday. I washed it in the washing machine. She wore it for a day before blocking or anything, so I could see how it settled. And my colour work was quite lumpy, but after washing it in the washing machine on a wool wash, I just laid it flat on the kitchen table overnight. I didn't pin it down or anything. I just laid it flat, stretched it out, and it's lovely. So she can wear this on Thursday for the Christmas jumper day for charity. This pattern is sort of a mixture of 2. The colour work charts are from Dog Star by Think and Knit, but it's designed for DK weight yarn, but I knitted in mostly in Aran weight, so I put it on Think and Knit's Strange Brew top down worksheet. It's sort of, you can pop your own colour charts in. It's brilliant. I use the Strange Brew book all the time. That was my first visit to Yarndale and my first purchase, and I've used this book so many times. I've knitted mostly, I always go for the same jumper, which is the Trek. I've knitted so many of these Trek sweaters, all in different colours, just love it. But this time I went for something different because there was only 3 colours and the Trek has 6, I think. But I highly recommend this book. It's got lots of different colour charts and instructions how to knit top-down jumpers and bottom-up jumpers, but everyone in your family, from newborn to let's see what the biggest size is, 4XL, from newborn to XL, in all different weights of yarn, from 4-ply to DK to Aran. Just great instructions, and loads of colour charts and options, and they're all yoked sweaters, and you can choose whether you do bottom up or top down. I prefer top down because you can try on as you go. I just prefer that way, but this is paid for pattern, Dog Star, but it's also by Think and Knit. Again, I did short rows, and I put them in the collar. I like them in the collar. I think it's easier to see which one's the front and the back when you put the short rows in the ribbing. And again, you can just about see there's just a couple of wonky stitches where you can see my wraps and turns, but I don't think you would notice it if you didn't know where they were there. So I decided to use the pink as the main colour for the cuffs and the hem, and then I've got the red in the colour work there, mostly because the red was DK weight. I have bought 3 balls of it, thinking of doing it all in red, but she did ask for pink and red, and this vintage pink, I didn't think that would have quite been pink enough for her, but I love it. It's got lovely flecks and nibs in it. It adds it a lot of interest, so yeah, I'm very pleased how it turned out. There's all different colours, but there isn't actually fuchsia pink in it, but I don't think it matters. There's red there, blue there, yellow. Yeah, this is the Navita 7 Brothers Numme from Snufflebean Yarn near Luton. So it's lovely. But I've been knitting so much with 4-ply and mohair held together that I don't know if I love the Aran weight jumper anymore. I think it's great for Ella. She wore it yesterday, and it's softened and it's more drapey now after washing, so I think she'll like it even more. But it is quite heavy, so hopefully we'll have a very cold winter, so it will get a lot wear out of it. I knitted the extra small adult size, but stitch count wise, but then the length, I needed the biggest child size, which I think is 10 to 11 years old. So the length of it is sort of wider than its the width is extra small adult, and the length is the child size, and it's sort of just perfect length sleeves, not too long, because she tends to bite her sleeves if they're too long, so I didn't want any holes in them. And I did just a normal cast off in pattern on here too. Yeah, I think it works out lovely, and hopefully she will get a lot wear out of it, and it'll be very, very warm for this winter. I have plenty of the main colour left. I still have half a ball, just over half a ball. I did have more, but I decided to knit Ella. It was going to be a hat, but it became a cowl. I followed it's on my Ravelry page. I think it's a road trip hat pattern. It comes with a cowl pattern as well. I had cast on, it is Aran weight pattern, but I held, I've still got some of this mohair that I had dyed purple. I have some of it left, so I held one strand of Aran weight yarn and then one strand of mohair, so it was a little bit thicker than Aran would be on its own. So it came really big, and I thought, oh no, what I'm going to do, this is too big, but I wasn't going to rip it out. So I thought, I'll make her a cowl. Oh, this was so lovely yesterday. It was a cold day yesterday. We were outside all day. It's got lovely structure to it. It stands up on her neck. It kept her so warm. And with the mohair, it's just so snuggly. And I got my cable fixed here, just doing some very simple cables from the free road hat pattern. And I love how it's got 2x2 ribbing, and the cabling just sort of flows from there. I did a tubular cast on, and then I knitted 2 rows of double knitting, and then I swapped the stitches and started knitting 2x2 ribbing, because tubular cast on, when you cast on that way, is 1x1. It's knit 1, purl 1, knit 1, purl 1. So you just swap the stitches round. And I'm quite amazed how they settle in their place. I don't quite understand how that works, but they do. And the edge, when it's close to your face and it just sort of rolls over, that is just perfection. And then I also did tubular cast off, and on both ends I did 2 rows of double knitting this time, and it does hold the shape better. So maybe that's why you do the double knitting, to hold the shape, and so it won't stretch out. And I thought that was important on a cowl. You don't want it to flop out. But I thought that worked out beautifully, and I got a little bit of cabling done there. I did notice yesterday she was wearing it inside out as well, but it just looks a bit just like ribbing. I have washed it because it got covered in ketchup yesterday, so it has been through the washing machine already, but I haven't trimmed the ends yet. They all weaved in, but I haven't trimmed the ends in yet. But yeah, it turned out lovely, and you just can't beat mohair. I just want that mohair to everything. I think this jumper, just with the wool on its own, I don't know, it feels a bit harsh, but with mohair it's such a it's just so soft and cuddly, and yeah, I definitely prefer the mohair edition. But yeah, I think this will get a lot of wear out of it, and I still have quite a bit left, so I thought I could either knit a hat or mittens. I think it's got to be mittens, because the mittens are going missing at the minute. So don't know if I've got enough mohair left. I need to do some calculations, or whether just to knit the mittens, just the yarn hells on its own. It's still lovely, and they will still match that. Not that everything needs to match, but I think it'll still be lovely. So I'm pleased with those. And I did knit. Andrea Mowry did a Thanksgiving weekend challenge to knit a pair of DK weight socks over the Thanksgiving weekend. Not that we celebrated here, but I knitted them. There's a picture of them on my Ravelry page. I wasn't even thinking about knitting socks at the time, but I've been looking for different heels for toe-up socks, because I like knitting my socks toe-up, so that you can just knit until you run out of yarn, or you can knit until you feel that the length is right for the leg. But I've been doing the same heel, and 2 heels. I generally do afterthought heel, or I do what's it called, the fish lips kiss heel. I don't think the fish lips kiss heel is particularly pretty. I don't know if I'm doing it slightly wrong, but I don't think it's that pretty. I like the look of afterthought heel. It's very neat, but I don't think it fits my heel very well. Although I was watching the grocery girls, I think maybe it was last week or week before, and they were saying that before you start decreasing, knit a couple of rows to make the heel deeper. So that's what I'm planning to do on my current socks. Yeah, I knitted those, and I timed because people talk about how quickly DK weight socks knit, and they do knit fast. I knitted a pair of socks, 2 at a time, in 8 hours. Not in one sitting, in several different sittings, but I was timing how long it took. So 8 hours for a pair of socks isn't that long. You could, because I normally get up early before anyone else does, do an hour or two knitting in the morning, hour or two at night. So you could get a pair of socks done in 2 days. So I think that's pretty good, which I probably did that. And I enjoyed that. It was 2 strands. I knit it with 2 strands of 4-ply held together to create DK weight, and I used these colours. I did the toes black, 2 strands of black held together, and then the main body of the socks, these 2 held together to create beautiful marling. And they're completely ribbed socks, and they're just so cozy and comfy. When I was knitting the foot, it looked so long. It looked really, really long, but I thought I'll go by the instructions, and I'm pleased that I did, because the heel is actually on the back of your foot. So it's not, it doesn't go round the bottom of your foot, it's just at the back. But it does feel nice, but I just didn't like the look of it. So I put them in my shop to sell. I just didn't like the look of it. But I am knitting another pair, sort of using Andrea Mary's pattern. I've got some of this purple left from Ella's Purple Mittens. Yeah, I knitted these mittens with this King Cowl. It's not raspberry. Black. I think it's blackcurrant colorway, held together with 1 strand of mohair that created this lovely fluffy mittens. But now I'm just knitting it on its own. I had some fuchsia pink Seven Brothers Novita Seven Brothers yarn left, which is in theory is thicker than the purple. But I wanted to add it. I've got some of it left, so I want to use it up. And it's got polyamide in it, so I thought it would be good for the toes and the heels and the cuffs. So because I didn't like the look of the heel on the paw socks, although it fits very well, but I just didn't like the look. I'm doing a sort of afterthought heel. It's not an afterthought because I put in some scrap yarn where it's going to go. But I'm going to try what I learned from the grocery girls and just pick up the stitches. I was planning to knit 4 rows round and then start decreasing to match the toes. So we'll see how that goes. So I've got, I'm just going to knit. Like I said, I like to knit my toes. I like to knit my socks toe up so that I can just knit until I run out of yarn, which I'm doing here. I've got maybe 5 grams of each. They're very see-through now. There's not much here. I don't know how it look on the camera, but I'm just going to knit the cuffs as long as I can get with this purple. Then I'm planning to pick up the stitches for the heels and knit the heels with this raspberry colour pink, and then whatever I've got left I'll do the cuffs. I ball this yarn. I normally use my ball winder, but I didn't on this occasion, but I balled it so that you can pull it from the middle and from the outside, so I'll be able to knit the two at the same time. So 1 strand will come from the inside and 1 from the outside. So that's the plan. These haven't even taken 8 hours, I don't think, by the time I will have finished. They're obviously much smaller for Ella. I'm doing size 3. I think it's the child medium, maybe. I did put it on my Ravelry page. Again, the foot looks very long, but I think it might look very long because it's ribbing and it's so sort of scrunched together that I think by the time I put the heel in and they are on, it will stretch out and shorten. When I pull it, you can see it shortens. So I think they'll be perfect. And I think they'll be super cozy in wellies and around the house. Ella does need some 4-ply socks. Most of her socks are now DK weight or Aran weight, and just to get them in her Doc Martens, I think these have been great because her boots were too big to start with, but now that her foot's grown, I think 4-ply socks will be better. But I've got plenty of 4-ply yarn to be playing with. But I just thought that I will finish the yarn that I bought for her jumper by knitting some mittens and socks and hats and the cowl. So that yarn's gone really far actually. What I bought for just a jumper, there's quite a few different knits. But after this, I don't quite know what to knit. I haven't got that much yarn left in my stash. There isn't enough for a jumper, a plain colour jumper anyway. If I did all over colour work or stripes or something, there will be enough for a jumper. So I might try and see if I can use the yarn that way, or I might knit socks. I've got quite a few colorways where I've got 4-ply and mohair. My plan was to knit indulgence socks with these. 50 grams of 4-ply and 25 grams of mohair is enough for a pair of socks. I'm wearing a pair now. They're lovely to wear, but I think they need ribbing. I think if they were knitted ribbed all the way like these, they would be really, really lovely. So I might make those, or I might put them into colour work into a jumper. Might knit like a 4-ply jumper for Ella. So that might be the plan. But I am going yarn shopping on Friday, so I'm sure there'll be lots more inspiration. I'm very excited actually. I'm going yarn shopping with my friend. I haven't got any plans what to buy, but I'm sure if I just open my Ravelry queue, there's a lot of ideas there. But yeah, that's the plan. I'm looking forward to Friday, looking forward to getting some of these bits and bobs knitted up, getting Ella's cassette mixtape jumper blocks, and just wearing all our knits. And I might show you end of the year. I might show you what I've knitted this year and what I'm still wearing. I have knitted a lot this year, but not everything's still being worn. So might be nice to show you what fits and what I've enjoyed wearing, how things have washed and worn. I'm always interested in what yarns wash and wear well, so you might be as well. But I think that's it for today. It's been nice to have a catch up and a chat, and hopefully I'll see you here in another couple of weeks. Thanks, bye.